Guys, welcome to your in my world, Muhammad's world, and today I am going to review ships. Now, if you don't know, ships are being used since like the days of Hazrat Nooh alayhi salam, and the ship is one of the most oldest ways of transport, and there have been several new updates, and now the ship is these ships are now the see are being seen as the trading lines of the traders. So like they are used for transportation. Some of them are cruisers, some of them are oil tankers, some of them are cargo, and they are being used in every way. And over the years, ships have been increased in size, and there have been a lot of ships that had their glorious moments, and they have been once in a while been named the world's largest ship. So the first ship in the world was Hazrat Nooh's Ark. They made it for the Allah, for our God Allah, that because Allah the Almighty gave them the order of making a ark, because there were a lot of non-Muslims at that time and they wanted to get rid of them. So they told Hazrat Nooh alayhi salam that I am going to make a flood in the whole world, that no land will exist after that. So I am just now giving you the order to make a ark. They didn't knew that 1 year was spent on planting as much as trees as possible, so they could get all the wood. And after all the trees were grown, the Allah the Almighty gave them the order to cut all the trees and make like plates of them to cover and build the skeleton of the earth. Some people called them crazy for doing such a thing, because like mammals were being used at that time for transportation, and no such vehicle was made for the sea. That's why they were calling him crazy. And then the flood came, and all the non-Muslims went down with the ocean, as well as the son of Hazrat Nooh alayhi salam, because he was also a non-Muslim. And that's the story of Hazrat Nooh alayhi salam. I am not going to continue this after this, because we are talking about ships, not the story. So like the largest cruise ship in the world and the ship in the world is Symphony of the Seas? No. Some of the people are just stuck at Titanic, that it's still the biggest ship. They are being living under a rock for a time. Then the ships were like getting bigger and bigger, and companies were racing to build the biggest ship in the world. And this title is being named to Royal Caribbean because of their ship Symphony of the Seas. Now, some people think that Symphony of the Seas is the largest ship. No, it is the largest cruise ship, but not the biggest thing in the sea. So, the largest ship is the Sea Wise Giant, or the Knock Navies, that was bombed and sunk in World War II. I don't know, it was a world war or it was a normal war, like it was the Iraq war. And it was bombed, sunk, and brought back to the ocean to serve on the seas once again. And they then it was sold 3 times, and 2 years of refitting made it the widest and no, not the widest, but the longest ship, and it's still named as the largest ship in the world. And it was dismantled in 2010. So it was like it was the largest ship, but I'm not mentioning the ship that is currently the most biggest, because the currently most biggest ship is not even a ship. And I want to give a few honorable mentions, like what was the Britanic? Yes, like Britanic was the sister ship of Titanic, and it's not the biggest ship, but it was a hospital ship from an ocean liner, and it is the best ship I know. And another honorable mention is the Queen Mary too. It's also big, but Cunard Line is not like making better ships than the Queen Mary, and no, Queen Mary too. And I'd like to give another honorable mention. That honorable mention goes to the Queen Mary. Some people only know how Queen Mary was built. It was it was made so under pressure because they had run out of money, and that problem was going because of the currency order was changing at that time. The currencies were getting lower, I think, and they were going into a huge disadvantage with building that ship. And when the owner of the Titanic, Olympic, and Britanic, simply known as the Olympic class steamers, and were like the owner of those ships, combined the companies, like the White Star Line made the Titanic, Olympic, Britanic, and that company combined with Cunard, and then they formed the Cunard Star Line. And because then the Queen at that time gave them the money they needed, and then Queen Mary was vexed because of the two year disadvantage for the company. All the rust was needed to wax out, and then they started the construction again. And the America's Queen at that time herself came to name the ship. At that time it was made, and they didn't select a name. Then they called the Queen themselves to give them the name. So when she named the ship the Queen Mary, RMS Queen Mary, the people were expected it to be another ship's name, but this ship's name is also a great one, and they went with it. Then it operated a lot at that time, and it was the fastest ship and the largest ship of that time. And it's now sitting in her retirement in the California hotel. And now I want to tell you what after we tell all these history, the timelines. Now I want to talk about the timelines of ship, how they get advanced at you will notice it. First, because of Hazrat Noah's Ark, the transportation at sea was getting popular because of saving millions of Islamic people. And then it was that way was getting so popular that people started making ships, and from orcs to ships, and from ships to vessels, literal. And like some of the ships were not electronic because like power generators and electricity wasn't invented at that time, and they were powered by the like they hanged the cloths to them, and they could there was a steering that if they turned the cloths would turn, and it would like power. Like the first ships were the easiest to sail, and they were air powered, so none of the expense was like only a few golden coins, and the job was done of making. Now we are moving on to the advancement of the advancement era of ships. Then the people started like their own like legacies, and started to split up, so the ships were fewly made, and but the rate was going up of the ships, and the ships were like going up in sales, but they needed them, so they figured out a technique for them that they should have in every, and it's still being used all around the world in ships. That one thing is buoyancy. Buoyancy is the level of air in the whole like area, that if like air is not present in rocks, that's why they sink. But a wood has a lot of buoyancy, and when you throw it in the water, and you can see it's floating like, and ships go way down because they level way down than the ship wood, because the wood is like less weighted, and because of so much the ships carry now, I think they had to do. Now I'm moving on to the industrial revolution era of ships. The ships were now the world was racing around in the the world was racing to build bigger, better, and faster ships. Once called the biggest ship of the world, the Titanic sank in 5 days of her launch, and Olympic got the crown again, but Lusitania also got her crown and sunk in the Second World War. Britanic also got the crown of being the largest ship, and it also sank. So, half of her lifespan, Olympic was the largest ship in the world, and it also operated for the World War, the first one. And now the Industrial Revolution was in the trading era. Like the ships were being used to transport cargo. They were also like turning them all around, and all the cargoes were just delivered there, and they were now the easiest way to get cargo across the world. Like one honorable mention for the cargo ships is the HMM Algeciras and the Mary Musk. These two ships are like revolutionary because they could carry a lot of cargoes and a lot of things at once. Like this, because of how much weight they carry, they are known as the largest one. The present era. Now ships are like very hard to build, and like the largest ship, like the largest container ship, two of them in fact are being built in the China shipyard as I speak. They are expected to set sail sometime in 2023, and until that time the present cargo ships are the biggest one. Thank you for your time. Bye.